That it's never about transforming the me into a better me, a different me. It's about recognizing that you're not the me, that you're the being, you're the openness, you are the love, you are the shining glory. And that it doesn't matter what is happening on the surface of life. When the focus is with the truth of what we are, the surface of life starts to shift and transmute and transform. And true deep healing naturally happens not through any intention, not through any forcing or ideas of fixing, but through the natural relaxation of the deep protection that is really the core misunderstanding that creates any sense of separation or division, any sense of me and other. But as this starts to relax and refine, that the remembering of being the being, it deepens and roots within itself and starts to permeate all of life. And as it's permeating all of life, it is surfacing old material and bringing stuff to the surface, not because there's something wrong or the me is doing something wrong, but because it's refining and bringing creation, the appearance of the creation, the projected world, back to its source. It's bringing everything back to God so that everything can be known as only God. There's nothing outside. There never has been any separation. There never has been any division. That there has only ever been a great glory shining, and that it is all just an apparition of the mind, a projection of the mind that creates the appearance of world. And that the resting is a resting in reality, and reality appears, but the divine reality in appearance is known only as itself. That God knows only God. Love knows only love. There's nothing outside of this. And there is an incredible wisdom light that is shining to bring this remembering that is already alive in the heart of every being back into the beingness, into the oneness of true deep remembrance, recognizing this field of light that only knows itself, that is Ma. And the Ma is the finest resonant light, the purity of divinity that knows that its purity has never been tainted or divided in any way. And as we open to the being, we are opening to finer and finer frequencies and remembering the fine frequencies of our own divine purity, remembering the frequencies of the Immaculate One, that we are one with the Immaculate One. There is no division, no separation, and its truth is shining as the glory in every heart. And it is to find this truth and shine as it. In a way, the nourishment that deepens it is to shine as it, to drink it in, drink in the sweetness, the sukha, drink it in, take in the sweet bliss of being yourself, resting in the blissful remembering of being the being and not being the person, not being the someone, that nothing has to be done about that one because that one is innocent and is absolutely included in the wholeness. But how that happens is its own natural flowing intelligence. There's nothing to be done. It's just about resting in the being and being so nourished through the direct experience of being the being, that you are the being that knows, right? Where we are one, there is light, there is the bliss of being. In the utter sameness, the wide open, awake field that is naturally flowing as life, life flowing as life in total harmony with itself. And as we open deeper to the being, we are relaxing into the harmonious flow of being life, flowing as life, where it doesn't resist itself, it doesn't block itself. And there is a refinement happening where all that wants to resist is surrendering itself. The discordance and the conditionings and protections are surrendering themselves into the flow, like just jumping into the river for purification and cleansing, right? Everything just wants to be in the oneness. Everything just wants peace, love, happiness, to be living in the awe and wonder and delight and unconditional flow of love that is perfect, right? Perfection. And that it doesn't look like what the mind could ever imagine, that we are being invited into a finer frequency where we can resonate at this fine frequency of being life, harmoniously living itself, and ever deepening into the finer and finer frequencies where consciousness is remembering its own divinity, where consciousness is remembering its own wholeness. And so, of course, consciousness is born out of the light, of the whole pure light. But as consciousness comes to remember itself, it is refining into its own purity in order to let go of even needing to be conscious of itself, because the knowing of itself is so intimate as God, as Brahman, as the one with no second, that even consciousness refines itself out of referencing itself, because the knowing is so immediate, so now, so here, so alive. And this is the glory that is shining. This knowing is already shining. And this flow of refinement is the incredible flow of grace that is bringing everything back to the remembering that nothing has ever become anything. There has only ever been this divine reality shining just like this. And that there is this incredible possibility in a human life to be living absolutely free of the human condition. In a way, as a true human is to live in utter freedom from the mind, inner freedom from the mind, to live in the divine reality, the shining Satloka, right? The wide open one heart that is the self, the being that is the glory. This is what is in process. And it is just to feel the resonance of this, the finer frequencies of this, which are here present and are refining, culturing, and purifying the nervous system to be able to receive the remembrance of the finer and finer frequencies and to abide in the finer and finer frequencies. So the nervous system has to get constantly upgraded and cultured so that the finer frequencies can be lived on the surface of life. And in a way, we are just vehicles in total service to bring these fine frequencies to the surface of life. We're here to absolutely let go, to be resonating in the finest possible frequency, and then to be the living emanation of these fine frequencies in whichever way the grace is so inclined to dharmically use us, right? That we are here to just be resonating as the light, as the love of the finest possible frequency that has been recognized, and that it's all completely impersonal and unlimited, and yet it dances in this unique way as one that knows no other, only knows itself. And this is the purity that we are being refined to be able to resonate as. So the refinement that is happening, the funky stuff that comes up, the intensities and everything that feels hard, it's all part of the flow of grace. And the more that we can so unconditionally welcome it, lovingly welcome it, it naturally transmutes and transforms in the presence of divine love, in the presence of perfect love, into its true self, into the remembering of what has always been. What incredible grace. What incredible grace to be this flow of life harmonizing and rebalancing itself naturally.